Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mirror List Monday here on the Eat Sleep List YouTube channel. My name is Matt Johnson, your host. And today, we're going to be talking about childhoods. All right, what our childhoods were like compared to what this newer generation's childhoods are like, and the things that they will probably not get to experience. Let's make a list. So as I was stating, I have been stating that over the last couple weeks that I've gotten to spend a lot of good quality time with my son. A couple weeks ago, I had the week off of work. All right, we did a lot of things. I told you about just about everything that we did do over that whole week, and it was a lot. And since I've gone back to work after my week vacation, I got to focus on spending quality time because I had less time than I had the previous week, and I wanted to do more with him. I wanted to give him some life experiences. And it really did get me thinking about childhood again. I've gone down this thought process and path before, but I feel like I grew up in a much simpler time. And maybe it just feels simpler because I was so blissfully ignorant. I was so unaware of the world around me. But the 1990s compared to whatever is going on today seems so much calmer. Like, it seems so much, peaceful. Like, I think people think fondly on the 1990s. I really do. And, I don't know about this decade, right? My son born in 2024, there's something every day, it seems like. Life is so noisy. Like, the volume dial is turned up, to 100. It is so overstimulating. And this is a matter of perspective, but is it just me feeling these things, or is this something that my son, as he becomes more aware, granted he's not even a year and a half old yet, but is this something he's going to be thinking about, throughout his childhood? It's insane. Even from the outside looking in, not even as a parent, not even just as a parent, but I've noticed this over the last several years, is that we are making this generation of children, and maybe some of the recent generations, grow up way too fast. Way too fast. I feel like kids do not get to enjoy their childhood anymore. And not every kid goes through that, but I feel like a lot of kids go through that. They don't get to enjoy the finer parts of being a kid anymore. They don't get to, I don't see kids out and about, playing group tackle football. Okay? Or playing on a baseball diamond. We never see a big group of kids doing that anymore. And there's also, even some of the stuff that gets taught in school. It's not I feel like we're taking away our children's innocence before it even has a chance to blossom. Just some of the heavy subjects that they're talking about, and yes, you want to raise kids that are knowledgeable and well off, just very smart, can think, but I just looking at some of the stuff school wise, just we're teaching kids how to not even really think for themselves, but think in a group mind, thought process. It's weird. It's and some of the stuff that they touch on, like sex and things that why are younger kids learning more and more about this? I don't know. It just seems asinine. It seems weird. It's very insane to me. Some of the stuff that I hear and read about that goes on. And I just I want kids to be able to have a childhood. I don't want to burden my child with the heaviness of being an adult at an age where they're not mentally fit to handle it. Shoot, sometimes I don't feel like I can handle it. There's just, I don't know, like there's just always like, you meet all these kids and there's always just this urge to just be older, just feel older. Like, I don't know. I was driving the other day and there was some, actually there was, it was the other day, and there was a couple kids, probably elementary school age, and I seen them smoking cigarettes. And I'm just like, what? Like, that never crossed my mind as a child. And obviously, not all childhoods are the same, but it's just like, what? Like, instant reaction to is like bad parenting, but what socializing, like what's going on socially with kids nowadays that they even consider doing something like that, especially with all the knowledge that we have now. Like, this was something socially acceptable 110 years ago, when a kid could go to the convenience store and grab a pack of cigarettes for their own sake. But now there's barriers to prevent that. Why is a kid in the year 2025 want or feel the need to do that? What kind of social stuff is going on amongst these kids? And obviously, this is like, as a parent, this weighs heavily on my mind because I don't know what life experiences that I've had that I'll be able to utilize to guide my children through some of this stuff. It's gonna be a lot of winging it and using my best judgment possible on the spot. But just overall, it's crazy that I had him when I was 32. So like a 32-year difference in our child in the beginning of our childhoods, and how different they are going to be. And there's a lot. We're going to talk about plenty of stuff. There's going to be some fun elements to it, and there's going to be some deep philosophical moments to it. But as a parent currently, it definitely weighs on you, the kind of world that we are raising with our kids and how much it is changed. I mean, it's the curse of progress, right? It's the curse of progress, advancements and stuff is rapid change, but I want to give him experiences. I want to give him life experiences that excited me. And how do I get to do that as a parent in 2025, where things are so different? Like the world is so different. So that's something that I'm weighing, considering, and a big aspect of why we're talking about this for Mirrorless Monday. I've really become hyper aware of this over the last couple of years, and like life is really like it does not stop for anybody. It does not change or slow down for anybody, which is insane. And I've been feeling like that since high school. I used to be warned that, hey, after high school, life goes by pretty quickly, and it certainly feels that way. But it's constantly churning and advancing and getting better, more advanced. All right, toys are becoming cooler, I guess. It's just more advanced. Technology more advanced every single day. Food getting wild and crazy and advanced. Sciencey stuff, medicine, all this stuff is constantly evolving and changing and getting better in it at a quicker rate too, almost a quick rate that we can't even mentally like fathom or like find out how to appreciate. You see infomercials. I've watched infomercials all the time. They were saying, "Oh, this is the best, most safest product that we've ever had," and the last version of the product was like just a year ago, or not even. And it's crazy just how fast it is. I think we all, and I feel this too. I've talked about how I'm just like, I feel the need to go all the time. Like I don't know how to relax. And I don't know, like, I don't want to get too deep and philosophical here when it comes to this, or conspiracy theory, put on the tinfoil hat, but is this an intention? Are we intended to have this fast-paced, busy lifestyle? Or did we just kind of come into this on our own? Like, I feel like it is nonstop. All right. It is nonstop. More of our time is being consumed by things that we feel we have to do versus things that we want to do. But try. It's really hard to work yourself out of that bubble. But try your best to slow down time, like slow down life. And obviously, we're not Doctor Strange or anything. We don't have a time stone where we can slow down or reverse course or whatever it is. But, like, figure a way to just chill, like, slow down and enjoy the things. Like, I don't know. We miss so many opportunities because of this hyperactive lifestyle that we experience here. I don't know if it's just an American thing or what, but, like, we're always on the go. We're always ready to move on to the next thing. We go into things already anticipating leaving, right? We go visit or go to a party and, like, okay, I want to stay this late and we're out. Or we can only stay this late. We have to go to something else. And we really miss out on, like, these key moments, like these core memories. And this is a part of that growing up thing that, like, I have a lot of my core memories are from my childhood. But afterwards, like, being on the go constantly, I don't have a lot of that. I don't enjoy people like I used to. Like, as a kid, there are, I mean, not to sound harsh, but, like, there are so many, like, people that come through our lives and we always seem to be, like, on the go, and we don't get to appreciate their time, like spending time with them. So when things happen, when our time with them has ended, whether it's something tragic or a fight or whatnot, it's harder. It's almost harder to move on, or maybe it's easier in some cases. But there's like we did, like, I don't know. We're not creating memories with people. We're not enjoying our time with people quite like we used to. Spending time around people, and there's a variety of factors for that reason. But what I'm getting at is that we're not enjoying stuff like we used to. We don't, as a society, I feel like for the most part, we don't sit back and enjoy a moment like we used to. We don't sit there and we're not like, wow, it's been a long time since I've had a moment where I'm like, man, I wish this could last forever. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, right? I wish this one specific moment could last forever. And obviously, parenting stuff, you always wish that sort of thing. But other moments, like having life experiences, I just feel like I'm always on the move, and I don't appreciate anything. And that's my fight. Right? This is what I'm trying to fight to give my kid an opportunity to have. So, little rambling going on there, but that's kind of what's on my mind for lessons from the list. All right, everybody. Of course, as I always say, please do not hesitate. Comment your picks for this list. This things my kids won't experience list. It's a neat perspective to have. All right, and even if you don't have kids, just think about this generation of kids. I think a lot of people, whether you're a parent or not, think about that sort of thing. We always like to bring up the back in my day line, and stuff like that. But there's a lot, man. It is crazy, and everything, like, there's levels of importance to everyone, to everything that you can pick, to everyone. Like, some people, like, I don't have mentioned religion on here. I grew up with religion. Religion is not an important thing to me. If it was an important thing to me, maybe I would list it in my top 10. But that's something, like, I mean, obviously they can experience it. if they so choose, but I'm not going to force it on them. But yeah, comment it, think about it, and I think it's a good mental exercise for our own sake, to think of the simpler times, maybe try and get back to that, or even in some instances appreciate how far we've come in society, if you can look at it that way, just a little bit of a positive spin. But without further ado, I'm done rambling. Let's get to it. My top 10 picks for things that my kids will probably never get to experience. All right. Number 10, I know that they won't be able to experience this. It's life before social media. It is life before social media. I remember a little bit, a lot of it, I do, of life before social media. And I go after social media quite often, right? I go after it all the time, yet I still utilize it. And what I think is a pretty positive aspect, I make shorts pertaining to this show, and hoping to get people to talk and interact and find some commonality between each other. But I know what social media did to me. I'm watching in real time what social media is doing to others, and it is like, I don't know, like it's almost a given. Like, everybody seems like in some way, shape, or form is on a social media app. I literally watch people who feel the need to film every fun aspect of their life and post it on Snapchat, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. And it devalues the moment. Yes, you have this recording of these moments, but are you really appreciating them? You're focusing on the filming of these moments, but are you actually in the moment experiencing it the way you should be? There was a photo comparison of, I think, Michael Jordan breaking a scoring record and LeBron James. And the Michael Jordan one, obviously, in the 90s, nobody had cell phones, especially camera phones, but there was just a bunch of people watching. But when LeBron James went for this scoring record, and again, I don't know for sure what it is, everybody had their phones out and recording it. And for what? Gratification. This need for constant, instant gratification for our own lives. People will document their whole lives and post about it. Every little thing they do. I did this. I'm guilty of it. And I've talked about this heavily. So before you want to say, you want to point fingers, I am fully aware of what I have done. And my kid is growing up in a social media era. And it sucks too, because it doesn't even feel social anymore. Like, it doesn't even feel like social media. It feels like targeted media. Like, you're on there and you're constantly have an algorithm shoving things in your face, picking at your insecurities, picking at your anger, what triggers you. It's not like, it's very hard to just go there and just enjoy the nice stuff. Social media has changed so much since when I first started on MySpace back in 2006 or 7. It's changed. So this is one thing for sure I know my kid will not get to enjoy, is that piece. But hopefully, with my limited access to social media, I can steer him away from that, because I know it's not good. The doom scrolling, the instant gratification, the need to be aware, the constant cycling of information that people will just slump in their chair and lay in bed all day and just try to consume to fill in time, especially as at a young age too. It's just not good. So that's my number 10, life before social media. Number 9, I'm gonna go magazines here. I can also put newspapers in here too. Yes, I understand that some people still put out newspapers, and a lot of places still put out magazines, but it doesn't feel the same. There's a lot of magazine companies that have stopped publishing, over the years. From my understanding, Game Informer, which is something that I used to collect, I used to love to collect. I had boxes upon boxes full of Game Informer magazines. They don't produce physical magazines anymore. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in my next entry as well, but magazines were fun. Like, it was just fun to open up a magazine and look through it if something you were interested in. I've talked about, getting the old PlayStation magazine back in the day. I've just mentioned Game Informer. I used to love getting fantasy football magazines. All right, buying them for the year, just holding on to them. And it's always cool to look back and see how wrong that the writers got it, or how wrong we were thinking about something, or like just to see how much everything's changed over the years. But magazine there was going to come a time where I do a magazine list. There's no doubt about it. But it was just cool. Like, I remember asking for a Wizards magazine. It was a comic book themed magazine. I asked for it, and I collected it, and I held on to that thing. They did a comic book covers, like 100 greatest comic book covers of all time, and I loved looking at that. Even years afterwards, I loved looking back at it. There's been some other fun magazines that I've picked up, and it's just not the same. It's not the same. But I remember going to buy, saving up my money, and every month when WWE SmackDown or Raw magazine would come out, I would go to Wilson Farms and purchase them. And I'd save up what little money I had. I'd be scrounging for change, and I'd go and buy it. And I'd come home, and it was great, man. It was great. So, magazines. That's my number 9. Number 8, I'm going to go with physical media in general, and I understand that I could technically put magazines here, but there's a lot of streaming stuff now, with movies and TV. A lot of it's just primarily online. I know for video game companies, it's easier to distribute stuff and advance stuff online. I can't tell you the last time I purchased a physical disc, or actually, it's probably been 7 or 8 years since I bought a DVD. Everything else, it's all streaming. And physical media, I don't think people realize it yet. It's super important to still hold on to that stuff. And they are still making it, but I don't know how long that's going to be a thing for. And if I don't feel it's a priority, and my wife doesn't feel like it's a priority to have physical media for different things, it may not be something that my kid feels. And yes, physical media takes up space. It takes up storage space. It can be very inconvenient. It can be very inconvenient. It's just having stuff around the house piled up. But there's a couple elements to this. One is the streamers have all the power over what gets put out. So there could be a movie that you really want to watch that was released on some type of physical media, VHS, Betamax, DVD, Blu-ray, and if you don't own the physical copy of it, you may not be able to watch that movie when you so choose. That's always a dangerous road to get into. But 2, I like collecting. I always used to like collecting. I used to collect wrestling DVDs, especially when I did wrestle. I used to collect DVDs. Excuse me. And it was cool to display them. It was cool. Hey, look here's my DVD collection, or here's my video game collection. It's a talking point, an icebreaker for anybody who's coming over and witnessing stuff. So yes, 8. My number 8 is physical media. Number 7. I'm gonna go with. I have this listed here as Saturday morning cartoons, but I'm gonna say appointment television. At that, we talked about the TV channels list about month or so ago, and how exciting it was when appointment television was going on. I actually just seen a meme picture of it, of this specific topic, how great it was when you're in the living room, you're waiting for a TV show, and you yell, "Hey mom, it's on," or "Hey dad, it's on," or "Come downstairs, it's on." Like it seems trivial, but it's something like our kids will probably they won't experience, right? Cable is probably done, as I theorized, within maybe the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be all streaming services. Everybody's going to have a streaming service, or it's going to be condensed into like 3 major brands of streaming services. But the Saturday morning cartoon element too, like, I don't know, this is how you seen your new cartoon episodes. That was new cartoon day. Wake up, get your cereal. The TV is yours because usually your parents are sleeping in, and you watch Saturday morning cartoons. Appointment TV is gone, and it's made way for the whenever you want streaming service, which, again, more convenient, no doubt about it. It's certainly more convenient, but it also, as I've stated before in previous videos, that convenience has led to a loss of luster when it comes to consuming TV, because it just feels like it's just always there. It's always hovering. And also the convenience nature of it too, like from a kid's perspective, like the TV is going to be always available streaming service wise. What incites you, like, as a kid to want to go play outside when there's stuff on TV all the time? Back in my day, oh God, I sound like such an old man. Back in my day, though, if there was nothing on TV, let's go do something. Like, let's go outside and play, or let's go play toys, or let's go do something, like, just do something else. But now with the convenience of television at your fingertips, your phone, and amongst other things, there's minimal incentive. There's minimal incentive, especially in a very impressionable age group, to have any desire to want to do that. So right now, my kid doesn't like sitting around and watching TV, as it should be, and I love that, and I got to keep stimulating that. But there's going to come a point in time where it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be an issue. So appointment television, my kid will never be able to experience that. Number 6, I'm going to go with movie theaters. I feel just like television that the movie theater business is crashing to a slow halt. There are still people going to movie theaters, but it just doesn't, like it. I feel like every time I drive by the local movie theater, we have a Capitol Theater here in Niagara Falls. It's usually pretty dead, even on new release dates. And there's a couple theories that I have. There is one that, I mean, movie quality has been not great for a while. Like, it's been a while since I've seen like a movie that I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, movies just feel empty to me now. Like, for the most part, there's a couple things that, really get me excited, like the Thunderbolts movie, getting me excited for the MCU. But other than that, like, there's no I feel the need, like, I have to go to the movie theater and see this. Like, I don't feel that vibe anymore. The quality has mostly stunk, I think, and I feel like people, like, there's no heart put into movies anymore. Everything is just a cash grab. It's just sucking the blood out of every single movie franchise that they possibly can for every single dollar that you can. Star Wars. I just watched the new Jurassic World. Good God. What a waste of time. Like, maybe it would have been better if you gave it a couple years from the ending of the last Jurassic World. But anyways, I'm rambling. But there's that element of it. 2, streaming companies and major companies went the streaming route. Why would I spend an exorbitant amount of money on going to see a movie, tickets, food, drink, uh, when the movie's going to be out on my TV in 2.5 months. There's not a real big incentive to go to a movie theater anymore. There's no urgency. Well, I will give credit to people who see it that way, who exhibit patience, in seeing a movie, but there's no urgency. Like there's legitimately nothing that I feel the need to just drop what I'm doing and go watch for anybody else anymore. I don't know if that's me growing as a person, but there's not a lot there. And also, too, the third thing, people are freaking rude at the movies. And I'm not being dramatic here. Like, people will pull out their bright cell phones and start, like, texting. And they don't even lower, like, it doesn't matter whether you lower the screen brightness or not, but people will still, like, it's still, like, disruptive in a dark theater. The fact that anybody is, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but in 2025, ethically, like, put the damn cell phone away and enjoy the movie. I was watching Captain America Civil War 9 years ago. I think it was 2016. And this dude's phone kept ringing. And instead of just shutting it off, he answered his phone in the middle of the movie. Hey, stop calling. I'm in the movies. He's saying this during the middle of the movie. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be around people watching movies anymore because they're just awful. So the movie theater experience, I don't know where it's going. It doesn't seem like it's trending in the right direction, despite businesses, you get all these reports about films doing these big box office numbers. I just don't see it. So movie theaters, I don't know if my kid will experience it in its former glory, if at all. So that is my number 6. Number 5, I'm going to go with couch co-op gaming, or just couch gaming at that. Video games were and are an important part of my life, especially part of my childhood. It was a great way to bond with my family, with my friends, and like it was cool. Like, hey, do you want to come over and play video games? Yeah, I'll do that. I remember going over to my friend Jake's house back in the day, back in the 90s and early 2000s, and he'd set up his TV on his front porch, and we just go there and we play Super Nintendo on his TV, and it was the coolest. Like, I loved it. It was exciting. It was fun. Like, it was fun to do that. My cousin Nico and my uncle would come over our house, and we'd play video games together. And vice versa. We'd go over to their house and play video games together. But now people don't do that. The online stuff is there. It's the online stuff is a way to utilize and be interconnected. I never got into online gaming. Call me a boomer, call me a curmudgeon. But I've also realized, like, aside from the video game nights I used to hold at my old podcast studio, you never hear about anybody playing video games, like, directly, like, in the same room together anymore. And it's a lost art. It really is. Like, there's few things more fun than competing against somebody, all right, in the same living room or the same bedroom or whatever you're doing, playing video games together. Like, how exciting that was to be in the same room. Like, I used to love, I mean, we don't get time to play video games much together anymore, but like those Madden matches between myself and my dad, like going back and forth in that, like, that was fun. I don't have much time to do so. If I wanted to, it'd have to be online. That's just how busy and hectic life is. But, is my son going to have people that he does that with? Or is he going to go right into the online phase because it's the cool thing to do? This is the other dilemma of it. Like, I think psychologically, couch co-op gaming or just gaming together in the same room, I think it's healthy. I think it's a healthier way to play video games versus the isolated online setup. But to each their own. To each their own. But is he going to do that? Is he going to prefer that style of thing? I don't know. It's one of those generational things that We will find out in time, but it's something that I just never got into. So, couch co-op gaming. That is my number 5. All right. Number 4. I'm going to put toy stores here. I'm going to put legitimate toy stores. There are no more legitimate toy stores. There are no more modern legitimate toy stores. Yes, you have retro stores. Usually those aren't a place you take a child because the toys are usually pretty expensive, understandably so. And I don't know, it's just kids want the new stuff. It's more of a collector's avenue. I hate that my son will grow up in an era where there is no Toys R Us, where there is no KB toys, and there's like these. Oh God. I go to Walmart. Like Walmart, Target. Like those are probably the places that I frequent most when I'm going to like toy shopping, or I just want to go and look at the toy section. And it is sad. There is legitimately, like, they are so small. Like Toys R Us was a massive store, and yes, they had some other stuff and stuff. There was toys wall to wall. Whether it was the boy stuff, the girl stuff, the baby stuff, the outdoor stuff, Legos, I mean everything. Like it was wall to wall toys. And you go to Walmart and there's like 5 aisles. And like every section is so condensed and small. I don't know like why that's the direction that they go into. And obviously you can find stuff a lot easier online, but it's just like the joy that going toy shopping used to be. Like my son will never experience that the way that I got to. It's this whole like condensation of everything, right? You get these mega corporations like the Walmarts and the Amazons. They pretty much take away freedom of choice. They have their hand in everything, and they just condense stuff. So it's just so sad. It's so sad. Some of my happiest memories are my dad or mom, taking me to Toys R Us back in the day, or walking around a place that I'm going to mention in just a moment, or and going to the toy store and exploring that. Like, shit, it's gone. It's gone, and it's probably never going to come back the way it was, if they even try it. So, toy stores, full on, big, wall to wall toy stores. My son will never ever get to experience that. Number 3. This is going to be my last, I think, fun one. There's a couple other ones that are a little bit more heavier. The last 2 are a little bit heavier, but I'm going to put the shopping mall here. At number 2. And we are losing malls left and right here in Western New York. And I'm sure this is an epidemic going on everywhere. In fact, every time I go on YouTube, I like a lot of urban exploration videos. People are exploring malls that have closed down within the last 5 years. They're just not, for the time period, economically suitable. Unless you have a mega mall like we do around here, the Walden Galleria Mall, or I think like Mall of America. There's a couple other just massive malls where they legitimately do have everything. But a lot of my social interactions back in the day were involved hanging out at a mall. Specifically, for me, the Summit Park Mall. When I was really young, we used to go all the time during the summer. My mom would take us when she was off in the morning. Me, my sister, my cousins, and my aunt, Lisa, would walk around. We'd do a couple laps around the mall, and then we'd go to Auntie Anne's and have a glazed raisin. We'd have pretzels. I'd always get the glazed raisin because that was my favorite one. That was a special treat. My dad, when he was off of work, we're going to the arcade. We're going to Aladdin's Castle. We're going to go and play. games. And and later on too, when I got a little bit older, all right, we're gonna go Fashion Outlet Mall, or when I get my car, I'm gonna go to the Boulevard Mall. We're just gonna go walk around and hang out. Like, that's what we did when I was a kid. And now they're closing down. They're getting turned into business, like office space and other stuff. And it's just, it's a sign of the times. But my God, like, mall culture was awesome. And I'm so grateful that I got to live through that. But I'm sad that my kid will never get to really understand how much like shopping malls were part of the social and pop cultural lexicon for years. Every show that like throwback show from the 80s or 90s usually has a mall involved in some way, shape, or form. I say the way, shape, and form a lot too. I'm working on not saying stuff, so certain terms over and over again. But yeah, shopping malls, the variety of things, the cool stores that each of them had, the sporting goods stores, the toy stores, the hat stores, amongst other really cool places. The food court. All right, love a good food court. I do. We're out. I mean, there's like a couple restaurants that you only ever see in food courts, but they're cool. They're cool. When the Boulevard Mall around here got rid of their food court, it was pretty much a death wish. But that's my number 3 is the shopping malls. My kid will never experience that. Number two, life without cell phones. Life without cell phones. And more importantly on that element is the ability to disconnect. All right. I can do what I can to lead him in that direction, but the problem is that we are all way too accessible. I think it adds to the overstimulation. We're all too interconnected in the worst possible ways. So everything is online now. All right. Job applications online. You can watch movies, you can watch TV shows, video games are online. You could, when we have our cell phone, right? Work stuff, emailing, constantly getting bombarded with emails. I have condensed, I've tried to get away a lot of the extra noise of being on my phone and getting rid of a lot of cell phone games and trying to not have a reason to be on it more. But it's so hard because legitimately everything is I all my work paycheck, I don't see my paycheck directly. I get direct deposit because I have to. That's another thing that my kid will never get to experience. But I have to see how much I'm getting. I don't get a pay stub. My stub is on my phone. There's that aspect. Sometimes the only social interaction I get are people bombarding me with messages. I got rid of Facebook Messenger not too long ago because folks that my only interaction with them would bombard me with links and video links, bombard 6, 7 at a time. I have this problem on Instagram too, where the only interaction I have with people is I'm just dumping links off on me. And it sucks because this is the only interaction I get with these people. I could try to switch things up, but I also feel like this isn't communication. It's like a passive way of communicating. I'm just going to dump all these links on you and not talk to you about anything important. And when I was running a podcast studio, I felt like I was only talked to online when I was needed for something. Never, or very rarely, out of just the pureness of having a conversation. But I've always felt like it's just not great. People have to disconnect. People have to disconnect. I am at my creative best when I put my phone away. All right, people don't. If you are connected, whatever you are seeing and experiencing all the time, that's your way of thought. It's almost an indoctrination. in a sense. That's how you think. You're going to fall into these algorithms and stuff that tell you everything you want to hear and get you riled up about the things you don't want to hear or you don't agree with. But it's important for our mental cognizance. I can't speak. But it's important for just our mental health to just get away from that. Like, I'm glad I deleted Facebook Messenger. My wife is like, people are trying to talk to you. That's not talking. Dumping links on me is not talking. That is not communication at all. It's just not. I'm glad that I got to like push back. Like, I feel proud that I pushed back on this expectation of me, and I get to think freely. I get to be creative. I'm not distracted like I used to be when I was living in the social media bubble. It's so good. I'm so grateful that I get to push away. And yes, does it complicate conversations sometimes? Yeah. Oh, I have a group text message. It's okay. Like, I'm at peace with not being bombarded with links anymore. So there's that. That's my number 2, life without cell phones and an ability to disconnect. And my number 1, something that I don't think he will get to experience. It's more of a way of navigating it, I think, at this point. But living in a world where everything is not being like politicized or having some sort of like alternative messaging with everything. This is a blending of a lot of things. This is a blending of social media. This is a blending of cell phones and a couple of other things. But I feel like over the last 10 to 14 years, give or take, kind of in the early 2010s, that everything started to become politicized. Everything that we watch on TV, there's people getting angry about something being said and it's being twisted to be politicized, or people legitimately shoehorning political messaging or ideological messaging into art forms where it doesn't belong. I've noticed this a lot with Star Wars, with a couple other things, and I get it. Art is reflective of life, but there's just like, I think that when it comes to consuming entertainment, we'll start off with that, with movies and TV shows, people are taking away quality for messaging, like getting a perspective, like really ramming an ideology down people's throats, and I don't like that. I know that everything is so loud and crazy now, but when I consume entertainment, I do it to be distracted. I think is the best. Maybe that's the wrong term to use it, but I use it to just get away from the bullshit. And when you are bombarding stuff and things into entertainment that I like to watch to get away, like, how did people like that? It doesn't matter which side you sit on. Like, how do people enjoy that? Like, aren't you exhausted that everything that you watch, listen to, has some kind of like alternative messaging where instead it's not just good quality stuff. It's just like, no, you have to, we got to put this in there. And it's like, it's so tiring. Like, even like football sometimes, like I just want to watch football. There's a whole entertainment spectrum to football. And okay, this is my time. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch dudes hitting dudes, dudes throwing balls to other dudes, dudes handing the ball off, and guys running and scoring points. And like, there was a point where like it was being used for like political, like, in messaging. And it's just like, who is this helping? Who is this helping? You're either preaching to the choir with people who watch it and agree with all the messaging, which for the most case there is, or you're pissing everybody off who just wants to watch the game or doesn't agree with some of this stuff. It's just there's no escape from the politicizing of entertainment and everything. Everything shouldn't be a debate. Everything shouldn't be a debate. I think people should just be able to, and again, I don't know if this is an intent or just the way that society is now, but like I feel like nobody enjoys anything anymore. Nobody just watches stuff to enjoy it anymore. It's always got to be something like I was watching The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King a couple months ago. And there was a scene where King Theoden's daughter stabs the Witch King in the face with a sword because he says that no man can defeat me. And she goes, I am no man. And I was like, and I thought back about it. I'm like, when I first seen this in like 2004, like this wasn't like a statement that riled people up. But now if people do these sort of things, you get like, everybody's covering it. There's like hundreds of articles about it. News stations are picking up on this debate between why this is there. I know there's a debate with the Superman movie right now with the immigrant angle that they're using. It's just so tiring. Just enjoy stuff, everybody. Just enjoy it. See something, watch it, and just enjoy it and stop looking for reasons to be miserable or bitch about it online. All right. I hope my kid doesn't have to, can navigate that better than I had to live through it, better than the trap of it that I fell for, and better than what a lot of people experience when consuming entertainment. But that is it, everybody. That is the things my kids won't experience list. I thank you for your time. All right. Really did enjoy this one. And I hope that you all can find something in that too. Find some stuff and things that you realize that is vastly different. Maybe hold on to the good old days as best as you can. Keep some form of tradition with your life, with your experience with your kids or grandkids or whomever. I think it's critically important. But there it is. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you on Friday. Till next time, do you even list?